My boy got him one.
About time. It is Saturday, November 4th, 2023, and I'm headed into a public land spot in Rapides Parish. I've had a camera out here for a little while, and the traffic seems to be picking up the last few days. But I'm a bit later than I wanted to be this morning. I ended up oversleeping about an hour. But thankfully I had spent yesterday afternoon packing everything up, ready to just roll out this morning. So I made good time getting up here. It's 6:19. About 44 degrees is what I'm showing right now. Slow southeast wind. I don't know if that's going to change, but looking at 4 or 5 miles per hour, which is next to nothing. So I'm going to get in here and see what happens this morning. The Bible has much to say about readiness, especially the New Testament. Consider 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. It says, "Always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you." Or 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. Paul tells Timothy to preach the word. Be ready in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, and exhort with complete patience and teaching. There's a very real sense in which the Christian ought to be preparing himself for what's ahead, or for what he ought to be doing. To which you may be thinking, oh great, he's going to tell us to be prepared to meet our Maker. Well, maybe, but stick around anyways. It won't hurt you. Preparation, by definition, is the action or process of making something ready for use or service. And preparation is the only reason I'm in this tree for this hunt. I took the time yesterday to be ready. Sighted my rifle, I packed my gear, I charged my batteries, I set an alarm, which I managed to sleep through. But regardless, I made it. And I will sit here ready for whatever may step out into my line of fire. Turns out my trail camera hadn't been lying to me. The deer were on their feet. Now I know it's a stretch to make a connection between gospel readiness or defending the faith and deer hunting. But hear me out. This is how the gospel works. When we become a Christian, every aspect of our life is affected. You cannot be a Christian on Sunday and a hunter on Monday. You are now a Christian who hunts. And so hunting takes on a greater depth because it's no longer just, how can I harvest this animal? It is now, how can I harvest this animal for the glory of God and for the advancement of His gospel? For me, these videos serve as a crucial part in that, which takes forethought and planning and preparation, all of which offer potential lessons that serve useful in this Christian journey. We ought to have forethought, to be thinking deeply about what tomorrow may hold. We ought to be planning in hopes of directing our life for kingdom usefulness. And we ought to be preparing our hearts and minds for gospel opportunity, for the questions and antagonisms of those who doubt, The connection here lies somewhere in the same way that you visualize the hunt or making a video. You have to sight the rifle, pack the gear, charge the battery, set an alarm. Ultimately, you are readying yourself for the possibility of that dream buck walking out. In the same way, we should be ready to tell someone about the hope of Christ that is within us, ready to give an answer to the questions that someone may ask, hoping that we can participate with the Spirit in leading that person to Christ or answer a question that eliminates their doubt. We ought to be ready. Now, the irony of this video lies in the fact that I was ready, but not for the kill. I was ready to go. As 10:30 rolled around, I was thinking about another cup of coffee and the breakfast biscuit that was waiting for me. I was ready to get back to my dad's place and prepare for duck season that starts in 1 week from this hunt. So, I started packing my gear, which left me totally unprepared for one of the biggest hunting opportunities of my life this far. At 10:35, with most of my gear packed up, I hear a shot. Sadly, with all my gear packed away, I wasn't ready or able to film all the action. The shot that rung out about 200 yards south of me jumped 3 deer out of the bedding. A doe, followed by a buck, followed by another doe. I called at them 3 times, getting louder each time, trying to get them to pause long enough for me to get a decent shot. Realizing that they weren't slowing down, knowing that this was my only chance, I took a shot at the buck, and he hit the ground immediately. The buck is down at this point of the video, about 50-60 yards between me and the tree that is blocking the shot.
My boy got him one.
Now the hard work begins. Getting the deer out of the woods and then processed, or in my case, simply deboned, because this guy is going to be made into sausage. But not just any sausage, some of the best sausage I've ever tasted. Lejeune Sausage Kitchen in Eunice, Louisiana. I can admit that this harvest happened due to circumstances beyond my skill set. But I'm in no way less thankful that the Lord made it happen despite my limitations. The same has always been the case in witnessing to others and answering tough theological questions. It's all the Lord's doing. Yet at the same time, we have to have enough faith to ready ourselves, to get off the couch, to get into a tree stand, to get into the study, and possibly even out on the street corner preaching the gospel, hopeful that the Lord will bless our work despite our weaknesses.
That's some good stuff, yeah.
So to end this video on readiness, I guess I will bring it full circle and ask the question: are you ready to meet your Maker?